Hello everyone, in this video we will look at some of the biggest features and changes that Microsoft is planning to ship with the next version of Windows, codenamed Sun Valley and now currently rumored to be called Windows 11. I've been working on this video for a few days and initially I started referring the update as Windows 10 version 21H2, but during this time Microsoft announced that it's working to introduce a new version of the operating system. And the rumor has it that the company is also planning to change the name of the operating system to Windows 11. This is not official yet, but throughout the video you will hear both names, Windows 10 and Windows 11. This video is not meant to be a full review of this new version. Instead, this is a compilation of the most interesting improvements available so far through the dev channel of the Windows Insider program. With all this information out of the way, now let's have a closer look at the features and changes coming with the next refresh of Windows. On Windows 10 version 21H2, one of the first things you're going to notice is the new system icons using the new Segoe Fluent Icons font that aligns with the Microsoft Fluent design style. You will see this new iconography using rounded corners and simplified design across the Settings tab, as you can see right here. And as we drill through all the pages, you will notice that all the icons have been changed with this new style. I'm just gonna go through some of the pages so you can see the new iconography. These new icons are also available inside of the Start menu, as you can see on the left side, and throughout other parts of the operating system. Across Experience, you also find new colorful Fluent design style icons for many of the built-in applications such as Notepad, Paint, Navigator, Settings, and others. File Explorer is also getting updated with new iconography and several tweaks. The new icons are more colorful and they include design changes using the Fluent design style. For example, you will notice a new orientation of the folder icons, and the default file type icons have been redesigned for better consistency across Windows 10. Microsoft has also even created new icons for the profile folders, including for desktop, documents, downloads, pictures and videos, which now have a new style and colors that should help to make it easier to identify the folder at glance, as you can see right here. Even more, Microsoft has created new icons for the default folders to indicate when a folder has content or not. When a folder is empty, the icon would look like this, and if it has content, it will look like this. Other new icons that you will find on Windows 10 version 21H2 is a new icon for the MSI installers, as you can see right here, and for the recycle bin. And there is also a new modern icon for the Task Manager application. And other parts that you're going to see these new icons are across the elements of File Explorer. For example, if we go to share, we're going to see a new share button. And there's also, I forgot to mention that we have a new folder for compressed files for remote access, and you also see new icons for other elements. As you can see, we get the new icons for extra, small, tile, content, list, large, medium, and details. And as I'm moving through these options, you can see how the new icons look like when they're using different sizes. Actually, let me go back to the profile folders so you can see how those folders look like in different sizes. Even more, now if we go to the network section, we're going to see that we have new icons for network elements. And if we go to this PC, we're going to find new icons for the different drives. In this new version of Windows 10, even Control Panel has new icons. even though that experience is going away sometime in the future. As you can see, we get new iconography for control panel. And these are not the only icons that we're going to see on Windows 10. You can right click an item, for example, and then when you go to properties and then you click the change icon button, you can access the DLL that includes all the new iconography that Windows has updated on Windows 10. Which still includes some of the old icons that needs to be updated. Windows 10 is also updating the Start menu. In this new version, for example, the Windows Administrative Tools folder has been renamed to Windows Tools, as you can see right here. And now the folder is an option with an icon that opens the Windows Tools folders in Control Panel. In addition, the folder now combines all the options previously available on the Windows Accessories, Windows Administrative Tools, Windows PowerShell, and Windows System folders options all in one place. Also, in the Power Settings, you will now find a new Restart Apps after signing in, which, as the name implies, is an option that allows you to decide if after restart, all the supported applications will restart automatically after logging in. Although this option is new, what actually is happening is that when you enable that feature, you will be enabling the Restart Apps option from the Settings app. Let me show you that. If you check that option, when you go to the Settings, Restart Apps is enabled. And then if you clear the option, will also disable Restart Apps on the Settings app. Windows 10 version 21H2 also includes the new Windows typing experience, which you can open using the Windows key and H keyboard shortcut. This feature is meant to type with your voice and it replaces the Windows dictation feature. The new version has a modern design and it also includes a new auto punctuation feature that can help you focus on writing rather than thinking about the question marks and punctuation. And the experience has been updated to offer a more reliable experience, and it's been optimized for touch keyboards. The Sun Valley update for Windows 10 is also expected to come with a new touch keyboard design that includes a new fresh design and several tweaks, including updated keys with rounded corners and layout optimized for typing comfort and accuracy. Some of these improvements include annotations and sound when pressing a key. You can easily move the keyboard around using the gripper region at the top of the keyboard. All the entries and the settings menu has been labeled to improve clarity for each option. The touch keyboard also includes a new experience for searching emojis and GIF images. And there is a new option to use voice typing on the left side of the spacebar. Other tweaks include automatic switching to the small layout when undocking the keyboard to this actual layout. The experience now shows 5 candidates maximum on the central position of the keyboard, as you can see right here. On devices with larger screens, we're talking about 12 inches or larger, you will see a more traditional keyboard layout with the escape key, tab, Windows key, and other tweaks. This is actually the layout that you're going to see. In addition, for the Japanese language, Microsoft is also introducing the 50-on touch keyboard layout. And that's pretty much what's new with the touch keyboard experience for the Windows 10 version 21H2. In the display settings, you will now have the ability to disable Content Adaptive Brightness Control, or CAVC, which is a feature that improves battery life by adjusting the contrast and brightness of the displays based on the content shown on the screen. However, this feature can produce distracting brightness changes that can also decrease the image quality. That may be something important when you need to show content with color accuracy. As a result, now there is an option to disable it. as you can see right here. Of course, this option is only available on supported devices. For example, I'm using a virtual machine to produce this video, and as you can see, the option is not available. So that's why I'm showing you this screenshot. Also on supported devices, Microsoft is introducing the Auto HDR for Windows 10 to improve gaming experience. The feature is available on Settings, System Display, and on the Windows HDR color settings. You're now going to see an option to enable Use HDR, which is available on devices already. But when you enable that option, you will see a new Auto HDR toggle switch that when you enable it, games on a standard dynamic range or SDR will be converted into HDR automatically, unlocking the brightness and bolder colors available on compatible displays that use this technology for a more immersive and realistic experience. The feature is available for an additional 1000 plus DirectX 11 and DirectX 12 games on supported devices. On Windows 10 version 21H2, the graphics settings page has been updated to allow you to select the default high-performance graphics processor when you have multiple GPUs. Once you configure the settings, when an app requests a system for a high-performance video processor, it will default to the GPU that you specified on this page. Also, the page has been updated to allow you to pick a specific GPU on a per application basis using the specific GPU option within an application. Again, this feature is available only if you have more than one GPU, and this computer only have one. But if you have multiple GPUs, the option are going to be available on settings and then on display and on graphics settings. But because I have only one GPU, you won't see those options in this video. In this new version of Windows 10, you can also expect a new disk management tool inside of the storage settings page, which the company calls Manage Disks and Volumes. The operating system already includes a disk management tool, but it is an old experience. The new feature is built from the ground up with modern improvements and accessibility in mind, and it also has better integration with the storage settings. The feature, like the legacy tool, allows you to view all the drives connected to the computer, and you can create, resize, format, and change the drive letters for partitions. On the page, the tool shows all the drives connected to the computer with basic information, such as the disk number, the media type, whether if it is online or offline, and the partitions inside of it. If you extend the drive, which also includes many details about that specific partition, including the file system, the partition type, the status, and more. If you select the drive, you can access the property page to get additional information such as the name, identification number, model, media type, serial number, and more. You also see the current status and the partition style. If you have a NVMe drive, the new disk manager will also show the storage health monitor, which is a feature that has been designed to detect and alert you of any possible problems with the drive to give you enough time to back up the data before it's too late, as you can see right here. And this is the toast notification that you will get if something is wrong with the storage. Within a drive, you can select a partition, but in this case, let's just go to this one, and we can also click the properties button to access another page where you can change the label and drive letter. You can also resize the partition, you can add a new path for the volume, and you can enable BitLocker from this section. Also, as long as it's not a system partition, you can also delete the partition and format the partition with a label and a different file system. Windows 10 version 21H2 is also bringing storage spaces to the settings app. This means that you can create and manage storage pools and storage spaces, and you can add and remove drives and optimize the pool within the settings app without the need to open control panel or use PowerShell commands. In the page, you can get started by clicking the Create a Storage Pool and Storage Space option. From here, you will confirm the name for the pool and then select the drives that you want to participate on that pool. In this case, I'm just going to select 2 just to show you an example, and I'm going to click the Create button. Once the pool has been created, you need to create the storage space, and here that's where we will choose the size and resiliency. For the purpose of this video, I'm just going to leave the default, and here you can see all the different options for resiliency that we have, including simple, two-way mirror, three-way mirror, party, and dual party. So for this video, I'm just going to select this option, and then we're just going to click the create button. I guess the feature is still a work in progress because during the creation of the volume, the feature froze and it never took me to the page to do the formatting. So I actually have to go to the all experience to do the formatting. But once the feature is stable, you will get the options to format the drive using the settings app. Once you do that, you will see the space or the partition, and you can select it and open the properties to see different settings. You can extend it if you want to. You can take the space offline if you need to, and you can delete it as well. At the bottom, you also see all the drives that are participating on that space, and then you have the option to add more disks to that particular pool. And in this case, we're just going to add one more. And as you can see, the feature will try to optimize to make sure that all the drives are used evenly. If you want, you can also go inside of the drive and you can remove it. And you also see other information about that drive. Once it's ready, you can click the remove button to remove it from the pool. And this particular version of the storage spaces, there is not an option to actually delete the pool. What you need to do is just go to properties, and then you will delete the space, and then you will remove each drive individually. And that's how you would do it to remove the storage pool. In the devices section, you will now find a new cameras page that includes the settings to add, remove, and disable and configure network cameras, built-in cameras, and external USB webcams. So if you have a network camera installed on the network, you can use this feature to scan it, find it, and install it. If you connected a camera directly into the system, or you have a built-in camera, you can find it right here, and you can disable it using this option. You can enable it and going to the configuration page. Depending on the camera, you will see different settings that you can configure. You can change the rotation of the camera. You can control the brightness and contrast. You have an option to reset all the settings. In addition, there is options to enable or disable video HDR and eye contact features, but those settings will depend on the camera that you have. And that's a closer look at the camera settings that Microsoft is working for the next version of Windows, which it might be called Windows 11. On Windows 11, or whatever the name Microsoft chooses for the next generation of Windows, it will also include a new tool called Disk Usage, which is a new file system tool that allows you to view and query drive space usage using command prompt. With this utility, you can analyze and determine which files and folders are taking the most space that can help you when you need to free up space on your computer. The command tool can scan the entire drive or a specific folder with details about how much space each folder uses. Also, it supports many filtering and output customization options, as you can see right here. Just to give an example, I'm just going to query the disk usage for the downloads folder using the disk usage command, the path for the folder, and the H option to display a human readable format. And as you can see, we can view the total size for the content inside of the downloads folder, and we can also see that we have two folders with different sizes. One folder that's empty and another folder that has some content on it. Starting with Windows 11, you will also be able to reset universal Windows platform apps using PowerShell commands. This is in addition to the option to reset the apps from settings. For instance, you could use this command to reset the calculator app. The benefit of this option is to reset certain system components that are not available through the Settings app. For example, the Start menu. The Sunvalley version of Windows would also bring an updated version of the Windows Subsystem for Linux that streamlines the installation and updates process with a single command. So now, in order to install all the components to use the Windows Subsystem for Linux, you only need to type the WSL install command. And as you can see, all the components will download and install automatically on the computer. In addition, when using this particular command, if you don't specify a distribution of Linux, it will automatically download and set up the Ubuntu distro on your computer. Once all the components have been installed, the only thing you need to do is to restart the computer to apply the changes. In addition, this new version also brings support for installing Linux GUI applications as if they were natively installed on Windows. In other words, you can now use your favorites Linux editors, tools, and applications on Windows 11 without the need to switch devices or use a virtual machine solution. The new feature is meant for develop and test your applications on Linux, but you can use this implementation for any situation. The feature even includes support for speakers and microphones, which means that if you install a media app, peripherals will pass through and they will appear in the app. GPU accelerated 3D graphics is also supported to run any app that needs to do complex 3D rendering leveraging OpenGL. When using this feature, you don't have to run an X server manually, since the WSL automatically starts a new companion system distro, which includes Wayland, X server, Pulse Audio server, and all the components required to run Linux GUI applications. So to install a Linux GUI application is the same as installing an application on your favorite distro, like an Ubuntu. The first thing you need to do is just to run the sudo apt-get update to make sure that the updates are in order. And then, depending on the distribution, you need to type the command to install a specific graphical application. For example, in this case, I'm just going to install the gedit text editor with this command: sudo apt-get install gedit and the Y option. The Y option is just to suppress all the prompts during the installation. Once the Linux GUI application has been installed, it will register automatically with the Start menu, which means that you can launch the application by just typing the name on the console, or you can launch the application through the Start menu, as you can see right here. The experience using a graphical Linux app on Windows 11 feels native, but it's not. The app renders with all the Linux visual styles, such as the frame, menus, and other elements. And there is even a shadow around the frame, and every window work independently. However, this is a remote desktop connection, which Microsoft is likely leveraging with the remote app feature that is built into the operating system. And you can actually see that when you go to Task Manager, and you can see here that we have a remote desktop connection, and when we close the app, that application is going to go away. And that is a quick look at how Linux GUI applications run on the new version of Windows. And remember that these are just some of the new features, since there will be a lot more in this release, including more UI updates with rounded corners for buttons, menus, and frames. Elements like the jump list menu for applications, Action Center, and the Start menu are also rumored to appear floating above the taskbar, and a lot more. And those were the most significant improvements so far expected to arrive with Windows 11, also known as the Sunvalley update. This new version of Windows is expected to arrive during the second half of 2021, but there is not a specific date yet. Remember to like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet, and I just hope this video was informative for you, and I would like to thank you for viewing.